Okay, today's daf is Yoma Chaf Beis, Yoma 22, start of a new parak. Mishnah says, "Rishona kol misharotza litrom esam mizbeach torem v'zman shehem merubin ratzin v'olin bekevesh kol akodem eschaveru b'arba amo zacha v'yishnein shaven amuna omer lahen hitzbiu mayin motzin achas oshtayim motzin agudo b'mikdash." So basically, it says that originally whoever wanted to do the Trumas Hadeshin in the morning would do it. And then the Mishnah says if two people came within 4 hours at the same time, so then they would do a sort of a raffle where a raffle, I guess you'd call it, where they each stick out 1 or 2 fingers, Rashi says, and they would say a large number, and they would count and see who it fell on, which person's fingers the Avodah fell on. The Gemara says, seemingly, why they do this? Ma'isa sheyu shnei and shavin, Ma'isa sheyu shnei and shavin ratzin v'olim bekevesh shedachal echa menes chavero v'nafal v'nishpra raglo v'chemen shoro based in shabang disakana is kinu shali yitarmin etzem hizbeach elav apayis. The Gemara says that one time this led to danger, and one part this led to danger. It actually someone broke their leg. That one pushed someone off when they were running up. So they were misaki, and they should only do it b'payas. Now it sounds from the Mishnah, based on this incident that happened, that someone broke his leg, that there was no more racing anymore. No more racing. And they basically, whoever wanted to do the Trumas Hadeshin, they came to the Kohanim, they came to the one who was in charge there, and said, we want to be part of it, and they did a lottery. Now, Rashi's the lottery is the same lottery as the one that we were talking about before, where they stuck out 1 or 2 fingers, and they see whose finger it fell out on. The Gemara asks, V'hami kara, my time lo takin l'rabbanan payis. So why do they have this? Originally it was a race. When Mikara Savar came in the Avodas Laila, he lo chashiva lu asu. Came in the chazuk the kaasu v'asu they sakana takin lu payisa. It says once they saw the chazuk de kaasu that they came, that a lot of people came, v'asu de sakana, and they came to sakana takin lu payisa, they were masaking a payis. Now there was actually something bad that happened. One Kohen broke his leg. So what's the Gemara saying? It came on the chazuk de kaasu v'asu de sakana. So a lot of people were coming. It sounds from the Gemara that a lot of people were coming and they were going to race, and there possibly could be a sakana. The Gemara, the Mishnah says there was something that happened. Someone broke his leg. Ka'asli sakana sounds like it possibly could lead to sakana. It's also interesting. Rashi says that if they were shaveh within 4 amos, the last 4 amos of Mizbeach, they came to it, entered in the same time, so then they would do this type of lottery with the fingers. Rashi says the lottery would be not just for those 2 people that were tied, it would be for all the rest of the Kohanim. Why should that be? It should be for the rest of the Kohanim. If those 2 beat out the other ones and they entered at the same time, so they should be the only ones included in the lottery. Also, at the end of the Gemara, towards the bottom of the daf, the last 4 lines, Amar Pab Shili, he says, he starts talking, Rabbi tries to figure out which 4 amos the Mishnah was talking about, and he ends off Pshitali the Gabim Mizbeach, and it was talking about the end of the Mizbeach. And Bayar Papa Arba Amos Shamru Bahadei Amma Yisoda Amma Soviv Odil Barma Amma Yisoda Amma Soviv Teku. He's not sure because there was the last 4 amos to the top of the Mizbeach on the Keves didn't include the 2 amos which were the base of the Mizbeach and a recessed Yisod Sovev of the Mizbeach. It's an extra 2 amos. So was it really within 6 amos to the top of the Mizbeach or 4 amos on the Mizbeach? I want to try to offer a different explanation to this Mishnah based on a careful reading of this Mishnah. That in the Mishnah, originally what happened was, if you wanted to be the first one, you did, and you ran, and you woke up earlier, and you did the Trumas Hadeshin. And when they were a lot, they would all run up at the same time. And and then it says Kol Kohen as Chaver Ba'ama Zacha Mishtain Shavin Amuna Amatam Etzbiu. And then at the end of the Mishnah it says that there was a Maisa Shishneim Shavin Ratzav Olim Bekevesh Dacha Vechem and Chaveru V'Nafal V'Nishba Raglo. It says the word pious, and before it doesn't say the word pious. It said they used to stick out their fingers. I want to suggest there's two different things going on over there. There's a pious, and the pious was the race that originally anyone who first came, and would go, and even with we were closer than 4 amos, whoever actually got to the top and did the Dishon Mizbeach first, even if one person entered the top 4 amos of the Mizbeach first, the other person could overtake him and do it. And that was what originally went on. Then someone broke his leg when this was going on. And they were Masakein, they did the pious. The pious was that whoever is within the first 4 amos should get it. Because then the sakana would be averted, because really the main sakana was when they got to the top, the top of the Mizbeach, when they were about to do the Dishon of the Mizbeach, and that's when the guy pushed the other guy off. But within 4 amos, they were far enough away, they weren't going to push each other off. And that's what the Gemara says, if two of them were tied, so then they would do this, it's biu, they would stick out their fingers. I want to say, and that's what the Gemara is saying, the Gemara says, my time will take Rabbanan Paisa Mikara. Savar came the was Lailu Lo Chashulu. Lasu came the Chazu Kaasu. Asu Sakana means Takinu Le Paisa. Once they saw it was coming the Sakana, meaning that the person, it was dependent on who actually got there first, not within 4 amos. And it came with the Sakana, that one person pushed the other guy off. Then they were masaking a pious, which was the race. The pious was the race. It wasn't its biu, as it is. And basically, this 4 amos. What is this 4 amos? What were they masaking over here? We know from the Gemara Bava Metzia that Shai Osin Betalis talks about. The Gemara talks about a kinyan dalet amos, which most assume is their abanan. What is a kinyan dalet amos? If the kinyan dalet amos is a real kinyan, they're both. So why would Rashi say that if the two of them were zoch at the same time, then all the kohanim would be part of the rest of the kohanim would be part of the sticking out the fingers? If it's a kinyan, so then there should be a shutfim, and no one else should be part of this raffle anymore. I want to suggest that it's not a kinyan dalet amos. It's not an actual kinyan. It's derabbanan. It's just a schus. It's a right you have to make a kinyan. It's a schus. It's an ability to make a kinyan. And therefore, since the two people tied, so each of them had a schus to make that kinyan in the future. And therefore, since it wasn't a kinyan, so therefore all of them took part in the raffle. And that's why the Gemara says at the end, towards the bottom, the Gemara says, originally, when they made the takana, they should have this race. No one came. No one thought they don't want to race each other. Therefore, it says they made a takana that whoever came within 4 amos would get also another schus that he would get to bring the firewood. So if it's a kinyan, so then you're kona that right. You're kona that trumas adeshim, and you're not kona anything else. This is a schus, so then the rabbanan could add onto that schus other zechuyos. And this would also answer, the Gemara says teiko at the end of Rav Papa Shaila, but if you can answer it, we could try to answer it. And based on Rav Ashi's maskana, that it's a schus, and based on what Rashi said before, that it's a schus, and all the kohanim would have a chance in sticking out their fingers because it's a schus, not a kinyan. So therefore, we could say that if it was a real kinyan, so then it should be really within dalet amos. It has to be not including the amma, the yesod, and amma the sovi. But if it's a schus, so then chazal are masakin it, whoever they're masakin it, and therefore we would want to say that since it's also included in the mizbeach, the amma yesod and the amma the sovi, so therefore we would poshate the shaila that within the 4 amos would be within really 6 amos of the mizbeach, whoever got there first.